And we are streaming again.
We need to see the
Yeah,
OBS.
technical. Yeah. Hang on. Let me get everything more situated again for you guys. Yes, start for you.
Oh my god.
Yeah, technical difficulties abound. Okay, now we're back live again. And Kai, could you go back in and make sure we're all tagged again? That'd be great.
That'd be great.
That'd be great. So yeah, we were having some audio difficulties, so we'll just get right back into the episode, which was what were we talking about? We were talking about
we're talking about strippers and
No, we
yeah,
were
that's
talking about
exactly what we're
YouTube.
talking about. No, we were talking about YouTube. So, as I was trying to explain, is that YouTube has decided that anything Second Amendment, anything dealing with accessories to guns, anything that teaches you how to use guns, any tutorials, all that stuff, basically anything gun related is now being removed at a fast pace. People that have been using these channels for years are being wiped out. Like years of their lives, years of their hard work are being erased, essentially. Just like that's what it is. They're erasing all of their hard work because of what? I mean, what? Freedom of speech? Like what is this even now? Like at this point?
I mean, they're killing a whole market, man, of people who work their butt off to create their product, create their channels. You know, there's a lot of people that follow these channels and like these channels. They're killing it because guns are scary. And they don't want to see scary things. And, okay, let's get rid of the movie industry. Let's get rid of video games. I mean, there's so much more out there.
Yeah, there's so much to question on that.
And it's so hypocritical because what YouTube will do, they will show a preview of a movie like John Wick. Let's use that.
Exactly.
John Wick. And they'll post the previews all over their freaking, YouTube channel or YouTube site. But that's okay. But your average citizen shooting a gun, we can't have that. But we can show actors acting like they're shooting guns. But it's still promoting guns. And in these movies...
No. You need to call it what it is. They're promoting gun violence.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. So they're promoting gun violence in these movies. Somebody out there shooting at targets, as liberals like to say, your gun should be used to shoot targets and target practice.
Target shooting.
That's all they're doing. But God forbid, John Wick shooting people in the face... let's show that.
I mean,
preview.
like in a badass way. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's hypocritical, man. Typical liberal fucking, playbook.
No, it's completely hypocritical for them to go, look, what you're showing is bad, but let me show you a movie preview of this dude just murdering a shit ton of people.
Exactly.
And that's perfectly fine.
That's okay.
That's great.
You know what's really funny?
Because it's not real. Like, real makes it scary. Even though, like, being desensitized to it through movies and everything else is perfectly acceptable. And that's fine. We can do that. Because it's Hollywood. It's perfectly acceptable.
And you know what? Coming back to that, it's... Liberals do the whole, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, always.
And that's why when they push their thing, I mean, prime example of someone who's going to destroy the right and say that the left. Look at Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Girls jumping
the
on...
The Man Show Man.
The Man Show Man. Girls jumping on trampolines and doing the exact same thing. The exact opposite thing that he was preaching about. And...
Oh, yeah, no. Absolutely. Because that's what he made his money on, man.
But because, he's all... He'll talk down to someone. Call someone a misogynist. I mean, bro, 15 years ago, you were the biggest misogynist on
You were
TV.
the biggest, you were exactly the biggest misogynist ever to exist, man.
But Adam Carolla, look at Adam Carolla, still doing what he's doing it big. Adam, we love you.
That is kind of interesting to look at. Like look at Adam versus Jimmy Kimmel. Like, two guys were on the same show, but totally different worldviews now, apparently. Like, that's kind of interesting to look at in terms of Hollywood. Because, like, Adam Carolla is, like... big Second Amendment supporter, big supporter of the right, but not his buddy, not anymore. Like, changed his ways. Like, I don't know. Like, maybe people change over time. Maybe they change their identity as they get older, so nobody ever stays.
They change their identity for money. Jimmy Kimmel, he gets on this little platform and talks all this crap, but yet he used to have a show called The Man Show.
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Damn shit.
Yeah, that's what we were just talking about.
Why don't you pay attention? Now,
Yeah,
now
why
you're
don't you pay
using your
attention,
black
Michael?
privilege to fucking talk down my brown privilege.
Shut up.
White privilege isn't a real thing.
I enjoy my privilege.
I know we've already had an entire fight of this for like 3 days on Kai's status because he claimed white privilege doesn't exist.
It does not exist.
We've had interesting debates. This is what I say, in my opinion of it, is there is a majority privilege that exists throughout the entire world.
Do you know what?
And it's not.
Do you know what?
It's not just one, person's identity. Like it's whatever country you're in, whoever is the majority in that country, yeah, that's who's gonna run things. That's what everything's gonna go towards. I'm sorry, that's just the way it is.
You know what I'm going to agree with? There is a class privilege.
Yes, I will agree with that. There is a
Because-
class privilege.
I mean, I will say that 1,000%, and I think that everyone will agree with me on that for the most part. If you come from a financially well-balanced family or financially stable home, and
Or somebody that was old money.
Old money.
They're old
and
money.
I mean, you got guys that can't put a sentence together to save their lives, yet they're still profitable.
Yep.
And I've always said this a number of times. I don't believe that it comes down to the color of someone's skin, but because of the fact that I can at least put a complete sentence together and enunciate my words, people understand what I'm saying. Because I'm not at Shiner Salon, I'm at Shiner Saloon.
Salon.
Yeah, what kind of hair you did?
I did all kinds of hair.
You should have seen the kind of dumb shit that I saw during South by.
I know. I've seen your posts.
Well, everyone else should see my post too. Check it out, Polynesian Patriot. Shameless plug. Girls Will Grind 1776.
Shameless
CoinMac
plug.
doesn't really have a real one, so
Yeah, I'm just me, man. I don't pretend to be anything other than I am. I don't need fake.
We're not pretending.
I'm not pretending.
all the views that are on the Polynesian Patriot are my own and are
I don't
the
pretend.
exact views that I have. So, with that being said, as you being our silent partner, your words.
I'm
not
very
mine.
silent. I don't get into tiffs online all that often.
Well, it's not
unless
even
like
online. I'll do it in person.
heated
If you want to
debate.
come have a debate with me, let's have a debate. If you want to square up and use Texas's mutual combat, I welcome
Yeah.
you more to let's go grapple on the mats.
He will challenge you to trial by combat.
Yeah,
He will do that.
I mean, we could do that.
I
You
just
could totally do it.
wet my finger and put it in your ear. Boop.
Yeah.
Boop it. But no, okay, so back to kind of the YouTube thing of what we're talking about is like, at what point does, what constitutes hate speech? What constitutes free speech? Because like you could burn the flag, and that's not hate speech. That's free speech.
In my personal,
But you can't make the joke of turning a dog to be uncute and making him do a bunch of Hitler shit as a joke and not get arrested in the UK. Like that's kind of like
thank
where
God
we're
we're
at.
not in the UK. That's why we snagged one of our own and brought him to the US. But I mean,
But he's Nazi, really.
he was born in the UK, so Alex, I love you.
We love you, Alex.
But at the same time, if you look at it and everything, and you look what's being done, they're a private company. They can
Yeah.
do whatever the fuck they want because we have to abide by their rules. If we want to go to another platform, fine, so be it. I mean, granted, we're a small show. We're not the biggest, and I don't even claim we're the biggest, but
Not yet. We will be.
We will be.
eventually.
We'll be huge.
You will see us everywhere.
huge.
don't know.
But it comes down to this. We're using someone else's product, and if we don't like it, there's so many other options that we can use. Yeah, granted, they're smaller and not that big known yet, but I
Yeah,
mean,
there's nothing that equals
when Facebook,
YouTube right now.
When Facebook was first started, we were all using MySpace, and we thought MySpace was the
Yeah.
best social media platform out there.
Okay, but here's the thing: is like they're stabilized. Like Facebook has been stabilized for 10 years.
Yeah, well, look at how much their stocks have crashed.
And
the
YouTube
past
is about the
days.
same.
They've
That's
crashed
because they fucked
10%.
up.
I mean,
That's
they're
that's
about
because
to
they
not
fucked up.
even exist. If the
I think-
FCC hits them on every fine that they have,
Yeah,
Zuckerberg's going to jail.
you think so?
Watch, my Facebook's going to get blocked tonight for saying that.
Because Zuckerberg's going to jail.
Because
Like,
Zuckerfuck is
that's
going to
why.
jail.
And I
I-
hope Tom buys Facebook.
I hope Tom from MySpace buys Facebook.
What happened to Tom?
Travel-
God, Tom was like the best
I
friend.
just-
He never bothered you. He never commented
never
weird shit
fuck-
on you.
And it's just like
Yeah, he didn't care.
I don't really think it's Mark. I think
Nobody, like all the younger generation has no idea who Tom is.
Tom from
Who the
MySpace?
fuck's Tom?
MySpace.
Yeah.
Tom
Tom
from
from
MySpace.
MySpace.
So there's some people have done an article, and all he does is travel.
Yeah,
would
that's
love-
what I would do if I
I
just
would
like
love
sold
to
it.
be able to just travel and go do whatever I want and just be like, hey, what's up?
And and the reason how YouTube and all the Facebooks and all they're blocking all these conservative views,
Yep.
all this weapon stuff. They're demonetizing your stuff. They're shadow
They're
blocking.
weaponizing their stuff.
I mean, they're shadow blocking people. So just imagine if people actually had to pay for those services. You know how many lawsuits would be they would have?
Yeah, I mean, because it's a free platform, they can basically do whatever they want. There's another one that's coming out fairly soon.
Vero?
What was it? Vero is going to be a pay service unless you sign up for it like right now. I think still it might be going on. Then it's free for life. But if you wait, then it'll cost you. But that might be something that's going to be the future. They haven't had they're only on mobile though. They're not on any platform that we can stream from ourselves, because like everybody's starting to jump ship. Like there's one YouTuber, because of what happened with those policies on guns, he's going to Pornhub to release his stuff, because apparently they're more lenient, and it is like, which doesn't surprise me, and it is a porn service. But
So what you're saying is we're going to Pornhub?
we're not going to Pornhub.
We should totally go to Pornhub.
I don't know if we are, but maybe more people would see our show if
I
we
think a
went to
lot more
Pornhub.
people. You could have strong Polynesian and black guy rail a white.
I don't want to be the sandwich here. Like,
I don't
like
wanna-
I would literally be the
I don't
cream
wanna
of the
play.
Oreo.
I don't want to play.
Like,
I don't
I don't want to play this game.
I
No.
don't want to play. No, no.
Oh my God! Why?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yeah, right.
It's a Koi Mac. Koi sounds like a chick's name.
So, hey, I mean, like I said, YouTube
I
can do.
guess
YouTube
it
can do
could
what they
be.
want as a private company, but also they're using public
Yeah.
internet to freaking push their product. And if I'm paying for my internet,
I mean, nobody really owns the internet.
but
per
it's
se.
public. You pay.
mean,
for it, you pay for the services. You don't pay for the internet per se. You pay for the company to
be hooked up to the
hook up
internet. Yeah.
which they.
I mean, do you think we
pretty
could actually figure out how to hook ourselves into the internet without any of these
I
companies?
knew a lieutenant when
Maybe.
I was in Iraq that pretty much did that shit himself. But it's one of those gray areas right there, man. Because I mean, if people started suing them and all this other stuff, I mean, that's a huge loss.
They've already like PragerU's already been suing them for a while now. Like they're already being sued for different types of stuff.
They're shadow blocking a lot of their content to where it doesn't come up in the algorithms and all that other stuff.
I think Joe Rogan made like the best point about this when I was researching for tonight was, at how do you put it? It's like, at what point do you, like, once you start doing this, you're choosing a side, right? You're choosing an agenda to follow as a private company. Like, by doing this, you're already coming out and saying, I am for left policies.
Yep.
I do not like conservative policies. I do not like right policies ever. Like anybody that's on the right, anybody that has a different opinion than what we're already have deemed acceptable, then they're not going to do it. They're not going to let you on their platform anymore.
And pretty much
Which is, how is that not discriminatory?
it is.
Like, how does that not fall under the rules? I mean, yeah, it's political affiliation, but like political affiliation has all types of different peoples in it. Like, if you say that you're shutting their site down because, hey, they're a gay Republican or you're a black Republican or whatever it is, like, is that not discrimination in itself? I don't know. Like, that's just kind of my question of that is, like, where does this stop if we do not, we don't call them out for it?
Well, YouTube's pretty much proving that they're anti-constitution when they start this. So they're anti-First Amendment, they're anti-Second Amendment by doing this. So, I mean, people are eventually going to know where these guys stand. That's why I just can't wait for, more conservative-leaning platforms start popping up. And they're going to pop up all over the place.
Yeah.
And, we should be good.
It's funny because, like, I don't even see myself as being, like, too far right conservative anyway. Like, I've gotten dirty lurks from Michael because of my political philosophy already.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I use the word globalist and that just makes his skin shudder.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not an ultra nationalist type person. I mean, I love American identity. I love America as itself, but I wish that more of our free speech and our freedoms that we have that are slowly getting taken away, existed in other places like the UK, where you could make that joke and not get arrested for something stupid and have to be like, they're deciding right now if he's going to jail for 1 year or 5 years.
Well, the 5 year was
For that
already
video.
the 5 year was taken off already.
Was it? Okay.
5-year was taken off yesterday. They decided yesterday in court that he was guilty. They're deciding how much of the 1 year he's actually going to spend in jail.
That's nuts.
Even that's even nuts even to think about. I mean, is that where we're going in ourselves? Like, people are so worried about the Second Amendment. I'm worried about the First right now. Like, nobody's talking about the First Amendment slowly getting choked out, because that's exactly what's happening here.
Well, they have to get rid of the second first. You're not going to get rid of the first until you get rid of the second.
No, like the First Amendment's already going away.
Yeah,
like,
but
you see it with these companies. You see it with Facebook. You see it with YouTube. You see it with,
At the same time, these companies
papers
are
and newspapers
private
and everything.
companies. They're private companies. So when you choose to use it, they can censor you because you're using their platform. Granted, yeah.
I guess that's kind of the problem of the new age, is like how much can a private company censor you from public domain?
I asked you this question a few weeks ago, and I can tell you I'm fucking Rain Man. I will fucking quote the exact words that you fucking told me. You said a couple weeks ago, when you go to a censor-free site, it opens the door for child pornography. Those were your exact words.
That wasn't my words.
Those were your exact words.
I didn't say that one.
Mike,
but I mean, it's...
Am I Rain Man? You don't remember?
No.
No, because... Yes and no. I mean, there's certain things that you can't do. Obviously, that's one of them. Like, we can all agree that that's not one of those things that should ever happen and should ever exist. They do exist, which is terrible, but it shouldn't exist because that's not one of those things that should be protected. No, obviously not.
Yep.
You know, that's harming children, because that's a crime in itself. We have agreed as a whole collective that that is a crime to do. This, on the other hand, is not. This is not collectively decided it was a crime. It's a private company selecting, saying this is a crime to our terms of service, which it shouldn't be possible, but it is. And this is what we're facing.
And I got it. They're a private company. They can change their terms of service anytime they want. But how come this push for taking gun videos off didn't happen during Las Vegas? How come it didn't happen during Sutherland Park? How come it didn't happen during Sandy Hook? How come it didn't happen during the DC sniper?
I can tell you.
You can name a lot of things to where they could have easily started implementing this.
I can tell you.
Oh, yeah.
Because it takes time for things to be pushed through.
And that's not it. Everything is political and everything's socially driven. So, you get these kids up there on TV and they're talking about get rid of gun legislation now, gun legislation now. YouTube being, uber liberal. That the uber liberal.
Well, Google's already shown
Google,
that YouTube is owned by Google.
Yeah.
Right. So Google's already shown that they are anti-conservative and that you have to hide it if you work there.
And they act like guns are just a conservative thing. There are liberal left-leaning people out there that like guns just the same.
This is true.
I mean,
but it's fewer in number.
But it's not a conservative thing. So I mean, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they're buying into the whole social outrage right now, and the majority of the people that watch YouTube, that post videos on YouTube, are liberal leaning.
Well, I mean, Bumble did the same thing with their dating app of like removing anybody that had a weapon in the picture because like they want to have safe spaces for people to connect and whatever. And it's like, as long as they're not in uniform, if they're in uniform or if they're police or whatever, that involves them having weapons, then it's perfectly acceptable.
You want to know something funny?
What?
My 2 photos of me in uniform with my weapon were both removed from Bumble.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what Bumble is.
I don't even know what Bumble is. I just know that
message you first. And if I was to mess with it, I would mess with Tinder, but that's just me.
So wait, it's the feminist Tinder?
Pretty much. The chick has to message you first.
Gotcha.
But I don't understand how me having a picture of myself holding a rifle creates an unsafe space. I don't know how that's a threat to anyone.
Because it shows that you're a violent individual that likes guns.
But I'm exercising my right in my house.
But you want to know the funny...
Like I said, it's a private company. They can do that because they can.
Do you want to know the funny thing about Bumble? So Bumble started here in Austin, was released, what was it, 1 or 2 years ago during South by Southwest?
No idea. I have no idea what Bumble is.
I'm telling you. Was started about 2 years ago during South by Southwest is when they went live and went public. The CEO of Bumble was running Bumble out of her apartment. Now, if you look at Texas laws, you cannot run a business out of an apartment.
That is true.
You can run it out of a house that you own or a house that you rent, but not an apartment.
Very true.
And then she was charged by the state of Texas for tax evasion.
Interesting.
So, Bumble wants you to
That's an
follow
interesting
their
point.
laws, but they don't want to follow laws themselves. And
but
then
isn't
after
that the
that,
same as any tech company?
um,
Like,
they they ended up staying with their business here in Austin, running their EIN out of another state, and charged again.
Yeah.
Not that I know that or anything, but it's 2 cents that I
But like I
learned.
said, we people, the left mainly always want to throw out fascist and Nazi, and this is true fascism right here.
Fascist,
And,
Nazi.
believe it or not, the
Yeah,
minute
I mean,
you start
that's exactly
censoring,
what it is.
you start censoring people. That's what fascists do. The minute you start, pretty much burning their content, it's almost like burning a book. You know what I mean?
yeah, deleting their content is the same as burning their book.
It's
I get
the
that.
same as burning a book. So I mean, that is true fascism. That is.
I mean, that's where we are. Is like we have technic companies being jackboots, like burning things they don't agree with, man. What's up, Denny? But it bothers me, to the point it's like, if I have to be okay with people burning the American flag as free speech, you have to be okay with me holding a gun,
Exactly.
right?
Hey, you want to know? I do have something else to throw out about Zuckerfuck.
This is Zuckerfuck, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Zuckerfuck.
Let's hear it.
So, as liberal as he is, he used eminent domain to kick a number of Native Hawaiian families off their properties on Kauai, like families who have
Oh yeah,
lived
that
there.
was in the news, wasn't it?
Families
too
who have
long
been
ago.
there for 200 years can trace their roots. And I mean, how Hawaiians have done it. Like, where did the title go? He kicked them off. He forced them to sell for less than what the property was worth. Made some of the families move for as little as $800. And like, he took, I want to say it was over 130 acres of pristine real estate that these families have lived on, had their
Wow.
houses on, like old
Where's
houses.
the left on that? Where was the left when that was happening and saying, look at this guy's white privilege just kicking off these brown families?
And for them being Native Hawaiian in our own land, I think
Yeah.
Zuckerfuck needs to kill himself.
I mean, the left is super hypocritical, man. They don't know what they want. They don't know, they don't know how to push their agenda because they have no agenda.
Yeah.
Everything's a social issue to them. So they jump on all these trends and they jump on these things that are going on and they ride that shit out. But they
Yeah.
have no true platform. They have no true policy. So their only thing, they're going to look for anything that's going on socially.
Their only policy is social change,
social
and
change.
that can vary depending on the decade. I mean, if you look at any of their policies over the last 30 years, it changes every decade of what the new social thing to champion is. And like, look, I get it. There's some things that there should definitely be some championing there, but not everything. Not everything needs to have a champion to save them. Right. Some of that shit's going to work out on its own. You don't need to stick your nose in it. But we have other things we do need people to stick their nose in, like education, for one, security, and two, like all these other social programs that are failing. The fact that the government's been dipping into Social Security, none of us are going to be able to use it when the time comes because it's been drained so much to pay for all these other policies that have failed. But nobody cares about those things. Like, nobody cares about the important things. Or the fact that medical insurance is so high. I mean, they tried, but they looked at the wrong cause. They're like, oh, we need to make a healthcare, like, insurance more affordable instead of making healthcare itself more affordable and actually bringing down the cost of healthcare because it's outrageous. Because they jack up the percentages more than they should. But those aren't the things we care about.
I mean, right now they're counting on these kids who are 17 years old to get a voter base. But they're not counting the kids that are pro Second Amendment, that are conservatives. They're not. They're
No.
totally pushing these kids out the equation. They're just relying on these social justice warrior kids, to build their voter base. Same with the DACA stuff. They're not. They're only.
Yeah.
They think every single DACA recipient is a liberal. They're stupid. There's a lot of conservatives that are DACA, recipients too. This is why I think when it comes November, they think they're going to win. They're not going to win. Especially with this anti-gun push that they're doing right now, they're going to lose.
Yeah.
I have 2 cents for that. We're talking about all the liberal kids and whatnot and how the kids themselves Did anyone see the social media post about the child who was beat because he didn't participate in the walkout?
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah.
So
I saw that.
why is it okay for another child to beat another child, for one child to beat another child for not believing in the same thing that they do? He didn't want to because he likes gun violence. Yet the school allowed violence to take place. The other child wasn't suspended.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, nothing happens as long as it's part of your agenda.
I mean,
kind of situation.
they're
So I
hypocrites.
mean,
Yeah,
politics in
it's hypocritical.
school aren't supposed to go into place. If I found out that a teacher was trying to push my child to lean in a political way, that's it.
It's not their place. I mean,
I'd probably beat the teacher.
education is
Exactly.
like them to learn. Like that's what they're there for, not to be pushed a certain direction. Like people in general need to discover what they believe in themselves. Like for somebody to constantly be forcing like the same agenda over and over again in every class is not right. Like me, I should not become a teacher and then push a right agenda.
No.
Right?
Exactly.
Because that wouldn't be right.
You stay neutral.
Yeah, you're
And-
supposed to stay neutral because that your personal beliefs have nothing to do with what you're teaching.
And speaking of that, you speaking of fathers, or if you was a parent, there was this dad, I think in California, who went to his kid's school and asked the principal, "Why did you allow my kid to walk out?"
No, he said,
Yeah.
who authorized?
Same thing.
My son didn't want to walk out, yet your teacher forced my son to
No,
walk out.
that was a different video. He said,
Yeah.
Who authorized my, I think the kid was 12, 13-year-old kid to walk out
of school.
And the teacher was like, well, we don't force the kids to stay. But he was like, he's 12. So you're telling me a 12-year-old can walk out your school and walk the streets? And she goes, well, we don't force them to stay if they don't want to stay. I was just like, it's the whole indoctrination thing, man.
No, that's your fucking job is to
Yes.
keep them in school. Like Jesus. Okay, that's a totally different subject we should bring up, but it kind of reminds me of the whole thing with YouTube. It's like when it comes to like political ideology, if Google is taking a side, right? They're taking the left side. Does that mean that when they find left hate speech that they're going to remove things,
Yeah, they are.
I
right?
already have.
Have they?
I was looking for an image today, and it was removed from Google, and it gave me 0 search results when I was looking for
What was it? What was the image?
It was a piece of an AR-15 that I was trying to get to Photoshop, and it was
No. I'm talking about leftists saying hateful, like hate speech, essentially,
Well, in general-
against other people.
in general, they allow it to happen. They promote Sean
Yeah.
King all the time, but
Like people calling for the death of whites or other individuals,
They
or
have.
something like that.
and to bring up Sean King, I think the funniest thing is
Camera.
that yeah,
Yeah, he has
I
to
mean,
go
Sean
to
King's
the
a
thing.
freaking idiot. And, just talking about him will get you you get the ban hammer for talking about him or any of these
Yeah.
other left-leaning freaking Nazis up there.
I know Kai had some
But
finishing.
yeah, he had his point.
thoughts
Go
on
ahead
that.
about.
All right, go
Sean
ahead.
King likes to think that he's black when he's in actuality a white guy. And he talks about the white devil this, white devil that.
White devil this,
Yeah.
white devil. Okay, what is Sean King? Like, what is his
White is
Is he like
rice.
white? Okay.
He's racial
Like
fluid.
what was it? There was a video I saw recently where there were talking shit about Bruno Mars because he wasn't black.
Yeah,
Mars-
culture
A cultural appropriation.
appropriation
Yeah.
because his music
But here's the thing: Bruno Mars is Puerto Rican Filipino.
and something else too.
Yeah. So he's Asian, right?
Oh, he's Puerto Rican. He's Puerto Rican, Ukrainian, Jew, and Filipino.
Yeah.
So he's like as diverse as the rainbow gets.
Yep.
Dude, yeah, and he's from Hawaii. I'm like, we already realized that Hawaii was already taken over, so it's not cultural appropriation when you guys take our land.
And this is kind of like where I always get like that line of like, America is kind of about a cultural appropriation, right? Where the melting pot we're supposed to be able to, and not make fun of other people's cultures, but like merge together our cultures to make something new. Like that's kind of the whole idea of us being here.
I like
right?
making
Is to
fun of
create an American
cultures.
culture.
Yeah, I like making
What?
I like making fun of other cultures.
You know what I mean?
I know.
Aloha
Like,
snack bar.
not like in a bad way, but in a fun way that we do all the time with each other.
Yeah.
That's fine. But I'm talking about people saying like it's doing that whole self-segregation thing that we've been talking about, where it's like you stay in your corner and we'll stay in our corner. Like that's kind of what's happening with YouTube with this whole thing, is like you stay in your political corner and we'll stay in our political corner.
I just want people to
right?
stop fucking with Hawaiian food and making poke bowl shops all over the place because their food sucks.
I like Hawaiian pizza.
It's not really Hawaiian. It was created in Jersey.
You put pineapple.
I
in
know
your
it
pizza?
isn't. Not usually. You know how I like my pizza with barbecue sauce and chicken.
That's
like
not
an
true. You
American.
like your pizza full of meat.
Yeah, always full of meat. But
He likes that meat in his
anyway,
mouth.
I do. But the point is that we have to draw a line somewhere, and we have to start calling bullshit on these companies that are doing this, you know, that are stifling free speech, because like once they start taking away at ours, like they're gonna come for you, lefties, man. Like it's you think it's gonna stop with us?
It's coming.
And people like us, it's not gonna stop with us. It's gonna keep going, because like that's how these type of societies work, man. Like once they get away with one, they'll just keep going.
They'll come after
Why
every
not?
single freaking freedom that we have. You know that old
Yeah.
saying: if you're willing to give up one freedom, what is
You're willing to give up all the rest
yeah,
of them.
you might as well just give them all up, because it starts with one. You know, and eventually they're just
Yeah.
going to keep chopping at the next and chopping at the next, and eventually we won't have any fucking freedoms.
Yeah, but I mean, like I said, it's all these people that are like, Trump's the Antichrist and the devil, and he's literally Hitler. But then they're like, let's remove all the guns that just in case he does become Hitler. That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, because liberals don't make
Because like that's literally the nightmare that we have. It's like somebody going tyrannical. If Trump goes tyrannical, like even though there's a bunch of people that voted for him, they'll be the first ones to go, all right, let's do this shit.
Yep.
You know,
No
like
one-
like they're cocking and loading. Like we'll be right there with you, man.
No one needs an AR-15. Well, you don't decide
You do
what
when
I
Donald
need.
Trump's president. Come on.
You don't decide what I
Next
need.
time somebody asks me that question, why do you need an AR-15?
Why do you smoke weed?
Yeah, I'm going to say that is like because Donald Trump's president, and they'll be like, yeah, I get that.
I think the funniest thing that happened during South by is the one girl working at a country bar. I think I brought this up last week. She
I
goes,
don't know, but we'll see.
well, she goes, last week she comes up to me and she goes, this is a country bar. I'm like, she goes, y'all playing country music? Or she goes, are you guys playing country music? Well, Cody Johnson, Texas Kind of Way, one of the most country motherfucking songs out there right now, is playing. And I go, yeah, we play country bar. We're, a saloon. And she looks at me and she goes, they must all be racist up there.
Wow.
And I'm like,
Oh.
excuse me? She goes, well, most of the people, or she goes,
No.
everyone who listens to country music voted for Donald Trump. She goes, who did you vote for? And I look her dead square in the eye and I go, Donald Trump. And she goes, you're a neo-Nazi, you fascist piece of shit. And I look at her and I look at her, I go, hey, princess, check your white privilege. Her friend's holding her back. She's freaking out, crying now that I told her to check
Really?
her white privilege. I go, as you can see that I'm a brown guy and I don't think that white privilege is a thing, but I just like throwing it in their face because it's a funny insult to use.
I'm glad you guys can do that. Like I can't.
Dude, you're Asian.
Like-
You can do it.
Maybe I should just start claiming Asian. I don't
Dude,
know. But-
have you done the 23andMe genealogy test?
No, I haven't, but we should do that as soon as we get moved into the new studio. Which, speaking of which, since we're closing out this, let's go ahead and start plugging some shit. ATP, American Trigger Pullers,
American
our
Trigger
friends,
Pullers.
personal friends.
My
We are going to be, yeah, he's working there. I'll be working there. But besides that, get 15% off if you use the Hooch on the promo code for all your purchases to get off that. We're going to be moving into their building as well in soon-ish, and that's where we're going to be doing our show from now on in the near future, which is great for us. We're going to have more content and cooler stuff. We also have Grill Your Ass Off.
But we're also going to have a
As-
casting couch. Don't forget that.
We're going to have a casting couch. It's cool.
Okay.
But yeah, we have Grill Your Ass Off too. If you need any awesome sparkle glitter for your food, or spices, as you like to call it,
Rub.
then definitely check them out on Facebook and use promo code The Hooch.
You'll like their meat in your mouth.
Also, don't forget to go
You
to
will like it.
williamscountry.com and get
Yep.
some glorious music for those of you that saw him at South by Southwest.
Yeah, maybe we should convince him to give us like a special code. If you use The Hooch, then you get free shit.
Well, I have download cards, so.
Okay. If you have download cards, we'll do that. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, we will check you guys next week. Sorry for the audio problems that we had, but we're still growing. We're still working. We should have newer and better things coming soon, and they're going to make faces the entire time. Anyway, we love you guys, and we are out.
America.
Out.